And you're very welcome to Parnell Park for the second of this afternoon's Dublin Senior Hurling Championship A semi-finals. If you weren't here earlier this afternoon, it was a comfortable enough victory in the end for the reigning champions Coola, who won 117 against 13 points against a gallant Lucan Sarsfield's team. But in the second semi-final, we have Fianna taking on Ballyboden St Endas for a place in that Dublin Senior Hurling Championship final and a chance to take on last year's reigning champions Coola. And what an intriguing contest that will be, regardless of Fianna or Ballyboden St Endas. We will start with the Fianna team, and again, what a year they have had in getting to this final. They are unbeaten, and indeed they are the only unbeaten team, having won all three of their pool games and obviously having beaten Fogs then in the quarterfinal. They're also the top scorers, so what a season they have had so far. Some people have them as marginal favourites, but obviously they're going up against one of the mites of Dublin, GA Dublin Hurling and Ballyboden St Endas. But for Fianna and their manager Neil O'Callaghan, it's been pretty much job done in reaching this semi-final stage, and they have done a magnificent job. 1691 they have scored in their games to date, only conceding 6 goals and the 59 points in those 4 games. Obviously they've got the likes of Shane Barrett, they've got the likes of Conor McHugh there in midfield, and then in captain and full forward Donald Burke. What a player they have in on the edge of the square. 210 he got in the quarter final against Fogs, and again looking forward to a big performance from him here today for Fianna. Well, what about Ballyboden St Endas? They've got 7 Dublin titles in total. Their last one was won 2 years ago in 2018 when they actually won the double, when they won a league title as well, beating Fianna, interestingly enough, in that league final. Well, they've got experience everywhere. So Joe Fortune's team, they're lucky enough, they've got Simon Lambert as their captain at centre half back, the likes of Shane Durkin right half back, and of course Conal Keeney, number 12, will be on his back today. He got 4 points from play in the last game against Vincent's, and they'd love a similar return from him today. And of course then in this corner they've got Paul Ryan, who's so accurate from place balls. 1-9 in total he got the last day against St Vincent's, 5 of them from frees, a 65 as well, and a couple from play just for good measure. Well, with me for this second game of the afternoon is again Owen O'Donnell, Dublin player. Owen, just about recovered from that first game again. Unlucky for Lucan, they put in a great performance for 45 minutes, but then Coola came through strong in that last quarter. But who is going to take on Coola in the Dublin Senior Hurling Championship final?
Yeah, tough one to call, Marcus. I think it's a case of youth versus experience. If you look at the Fianna team there, like you went through, 90% of players there have played for Dublin underage or at some stage, which is obviously a huge testament to the work going on in Fianna. Ballyboden then, they've players that there's very little you need to say about them, like Conal Keeney, obviously, who's a giant of the game. It's good to see Shane Durkin back. There was rumours that he was carrying a hamstring, but has obviously gotten over it, and I know Paul Ryan is carrying a groin injury coming in today, so they're going to look to these lads to try get over the line. But we like to think of matchups and talk about matchups before the game. Donald Burke, as you said, has been absolutely flying, and so James Madden might be the man to pick him up, you'd assume.
Well, before we throw it in, ref will be PJ Murray. We will pause for Hour on the Vian. Well, as we know by now, there are no supporters in here in Parnell Park this afternoon, obviously with COVID restrictions, etc. So it's well, to say the least, it's a sparse crowd. But we saw in that first game, the Lucan and the Coola, what an impact the benches can have on in terms of creating that atmosphere, trying to generate some energy. And you'd imagine both sets of support of sidelines will be trying to do something similar here in the second semi-final on.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking at the matchups here, James Madden has gone in straight on Donald Burke in the full back line. Kevin Burke is marking Paul Ryan, so a couple of good battles here.
Well, that Schlitter has been thrown in, and the action is underway in this second semi-final. And again, to anyone who had the two-match package, apologies for the issues we had in that first game. Please keep an eye on all Dublin social media, Dublin GA social media accounts later on for any updates in relation to that loss of coverage in that second half in particular. But again, sincere apologies from us all here in Dubs TV for that loss of coverage. And again, keep an eye on those social media channels. So a first opportunity of the afternoon for Na Fianna. And indeed, that one is struck there by Colin Curry, and Colin has put that to the left and wide. Early start, only 40 seconds gone, but fairly central on. You'd imagine he would have been confident to get that one.
Yeah, also interesting, Donald Burke was on the frees the last day and probably did very well on them, so it's interesting to see Colin take over that duty. And also we have a change. Sean Ryan, the big man at the edge of the square, has gone in instead of Sean Murphy. Yeah,
Colin missed that quarter final that Na Fianna had against Fogs, but as we're looking there, and pressure there, but has that crept in? It has indeed, despite the pressure. Donald Burke, what a start from him from play. First ball and straight over the bar.
Small bit of contention over, but that's an absolutely outrageous score. James Madden was right behind him. Donald Burke just gave a little swivel and put it over. That is just unbelievable.
Well, two attacks so for Na Fianna, one from a place ball and one from play, and they've a score on the board with only a minute or so gone. Great start for them. Again, similar to the first game, Na Fianna have yet to win a county title here in Dublin, a club that was established in 1955 on the Movie Road, and they're still waiting for a first county title. Indeed, their first appearance even in a county final. They had plenty of semi-finals in the 80s, 86, 87 and 88, so an achievement in itself reaching a semi-final here this afternoon. But you can be sure that Neil O'Callaghan and the rest of his backroom team and players won't be happy with that. They want better. They want to reach that county final. And a soft enough free there. David O'Connor pulling Colin Curry back there, and again for a little bit of descent. I think Colin will get an extra couple of yards as well for his efforts.
Soft enough free. I think he kind of bought it, just felt the contact and hit the deck, and then descent brings it forward. This will be a slightly easier free for him to get himself on the scorebooks. Now
Colin, the second effort of the afternoon. Again, as I mentioned, he missed the quarter-final against Fogs, but had 9 points to his name, 6 from frees against Coola in the third group game that they played, and he has struck that, and he's made no doubt at all about that one. That's a great score from him, and 2 points on the board already from Na Fianna. Playing with whatever wind we have on, it seems to be favouring Na Fianna.
Light enough wind, yeah, but a good start from Na Fianna already. Ballyboden will be looking now to try to get themselves into the game. It's good to see Conor Dooley back from injury. He had a hand injury, and he comes onto the pitch wearing number 28.
Well, clear enough there from PJ Murray, the referee. Not 30, not far enough away. So another soft one, and another effort from Colin, and well, almost from the exact same position that he struck with the one he got a couple of moments ago.
It's interesting as well to see Marcus that Conor McHugh is playing that role all year of man marker, and he's taken the job of Conal Keeney today, which is no easy task. And Conor has really focused on the man marking part of his game, where he just follows the man he's marking, and he's been quite successful so far, so that's a good battle.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Conal Keeney, who got 4 points from play against Vincent's, had such an impact on that game. But so far here in Parnell Park, it's been all Na Fianna. It's 3 points to nothing. And let's see what kind of a reaction we can get from Ballyboden St. Endas, as we see another one of their subs there. Paddy Dunleavy, number 20, on his back starting. So again, we'll try to get confirmation on a couple of those late changes. Back door is the call from Simon Lambert. He gets it, and from a long way out, Simon Lambert unleashes one there. And that's accurate, and that's the reaction we were expecting from Ballyboden, the 2018 champions.
Really good score. Simon Lambert's one of the leaders of the Bowden team back there, and when he's firing, he gets the people around him going as well. So great start for him, and So a long range like that will get his confidence up no end.
Conor McKeown in midfield there for Bowden, back there doing a sweeping job and doing a good job at it as well. There's another one of the subs there, Conor Kelly, number 17 on his back for Fianna. Great work there from Stephen Heine. Now, do we have an opportunity here for Mellett? And again, just the space crowded out at the last moment. Good work from Fianna. Conor McHugh now letting that one in. It's a big one. And that's a great take. Making in on goal on McGarry's goal. But in the end, that one's been driven wide. But again, we can see the danger that's going to come in the edge of the square there. Sean Ryan, a late change, but he's going to cause mayhem all day long in there.
He definitely is. And Conor McHugh there didn't even have a look, just put it straight in the edge of the square. Great catch by Sean Ryan, but then also Luke Corcoran, great defending to push him out. That's going to be a good battle, especially if Fianna persists on that tactic.
McMorrow does well in the end to get that one away to Dunleavy. Under pressure though from McHugh. Yeah, nice play from Fianna. First effort there for Sean Curry. Curry from far out, but he's driven that one to the left and wide. And that's 3 wides now for Fianna early on in the game. Only 5 minutes gone here in Parnell Park. 3 points to 1, but a good start.
One of the tactics Fianna have used through all this championship is Sean Curry starts as a corner forward but comes out deep and it drifts around midfield, his own half forward, half back line, and tries to get on as much loose ball as possible.
Nicely done there by Finn McGarry to find Dunleavy. Dunleavy looks up and tries to put that one into space, but it's cut out by Paul O'D. O'D finds Sean Curry, who Owen mentioned likes to play out the field but was still well able to get 4 points the last day. Sean Ryan bats that towards Donald Burke, and Burke between them. Have they lost it? They have. That's really good play there by Luke Corcoran. The Ballyboden fullback finds Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan in a bit of space, gives that one off. Mellett trying to get it. Was there a bit of a loose pull there from Marcin Quilty? But in the end, ref has blown his whistle, and I think he will give a free in to Bowden.
Really good move from Paul Ryan there. Aidan Mellett's been a live wire in there so far. He's been threatening stuff. Bowden maybe for the start of the game might be better off taking a few points or trying to force that goal, but nice free for Paul Ryan to get his name on the score sheet here.
Well, it looks like PJ Murray, the referee, is about to put a name into the book, and indeed it is a yellow card. And it's Conor Kelly who's got that yellow. In very early in the game, only 7 minutes gone to be picking up that first yellow.
I thought there was a free in for Ballyboden. Maybe there was a bit of mouthing or pushing or shoving that the ref threw the ball in for, but needless stuff. Free on the 21-yard line. You want to be putting that over. There's no need to be mouthing there.
But again, lively start to this game. Only 8 minutes gone in Parnell Park. Again, as mentioned earlier, Kula awaiting the winners of this game. Kula, the holders of the New Ireland Assurance Cup after their win last year, and have been the dominant force in Dublin over the last couple of years. But of course, let's not forget in 2018, Ballyboden won that title. Now 65 for Ballyboden. Paul Ryan settling himself. First effort of the game for Ryan. 1-9 the last day. Can he start off with an accurate one? But he's driven that to the right and wide.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed with that. We saw how important frees in the last semi-final were, that Davy Tracy was so clinical. So tough starting at 65 as well. Ideally, you'd like to get one closer to goal to get your eye in.
That was a great puck out from Jonathan Tracy to find Owen McHugh. And he's still battling. He has the Schlitter, but that is a super block there. Brilliant work from Stephen Heine, I think. And in the end, here comes Conor McKeown. Ballyboden midfielder uses the right boot. In the end, they managed to find Conall Keaney. Conall Keaney looks up towards the post. Conall Keaney drives that, but he's driven it to the right and wide. 2 wides for Bowden early on. 3 for Fianna. Puck out for Jonathan Tracy. Tracy looks up, finds Conor Kelly. Late change for Fianna. And again, we see there Fergal Branagh, another change for Fianna, number 24 in his back. So we'll make that 3 changes in total for Fianna from their starting 15. We've got Conor Kelly in, we've Sean Ryan in, and Fergal Branagh in as well. Stephen Heine with the line ball so for Ballyboden. Not the best contact, trying to find Keeney. And apologies, it looks like we have a number change as well for Bowden, and I'll bring that to you in a second, but we'll stick with the play here. Here comes Niall Ryan. Nice work from him, great footwork from Niall Ryan, but he's driven that. No, the advantage was being played, and I think we will come back for a free to Ballyboden. Paul Ryan is already walking out there, but in fairness, Owen, you've spotted a number change there, and Conor Dooley in and wearing number 28 for Bowden.
Yeah, Niall Ryan there that just won the free. Really consistent player for Ballyboden. The kind of game he plays is that wins dirty ball, very aggressive, direct runner, and he'll win them frees all day long. And he's one of the players that probably doesn't get talked enough for Ballyboden because his work rate, he wins ball, he does a lot of things there that go kind of unseen.
Paul Ryan, second effort for him, and he has driven this one straight between the posts, and that gap is down to 1 now. 3 points to Fianna, 2 points for Ballyboden. Tracy with the puck out. Again going long, and he's trying to find Owen McHugh. And they might manage to get that to Donald Burke. Indeed they do. Burke taking on Madden. Burke, another ridiculous angle, but that hits the post. And that break out to Ryan. Instead it's good work there from the Ballyboden players in the end. Conor Dooley lets that one fly. Keeney unlucky there that he wasn't able to win that break. Advantage being played here, but Shane Barrett ploughs ahead, and in the end the ref pulls it back. PJ Murray, the referee, was asked the question, how long do you want, ref? And he says 5 seconds, that's as much as he gets. So we bring it back, and this will be another effort here, you can be sure, for Colin Curry.
And Fianna trying to find Owen McHugh on their puck out. Hugely athletic player, a dual player from Fianna, and he'll run all day long and very strong and physically in the air. So Paul Dunleavy has been tasked with marking him, and it's no easy task.
Looks like Conor Dooley into the referee's notebook as well. That's the second yellow card, one for Conor Kelly earlier from the Fianna. But here we have Colin Curry now. 2 frees already. Curry with that effort, and that's driven straight between the posts again. 2 points to margin again between these two sides. That's 3 in a row for Colin Curry.
Good start to the game so far, Marcus. Both teams are playing attacking hurling. There's no sweepers, there's no defensive play or anything like that. They're just trying to outscore each other, which is always good for us to watch.
Sean Curry passes that one away and finds Conor Kelly. Kelly, in pursuit of him is Aidan Mellett, but he still manages to put that in towards Sean Ryan. Again, not the best of all. Lambert will clear that one. Great battle on the far sideline there. Good block from Marcin Quilty.
Yeah, Conor Dooley needs to move his feet there, John. A player, as long as he has been around, knows himself that he can't be hitting the ball standing flat-footed like that, and probably lucky enough to get the sideline from it.
Marcin Quilty is down and is injured, but the ref has waved play on. As we look there, that's a massive one that's going to break in on the edge of Tracy's goal, but between Tracy and the crossbar, that one has just about crept over. Monster effort.
Monster effort, yeah. And they're always very difficult for a goalkeeper to deal with when it's landed on the crossbar. You can catch the ball in your hand, hits the crossbar, can spill very easy.
Probably the right decision in the end. Well, from that effort, he's given it straight to Doherty, and Paul Doherty has driven that over the bar. And we're level.
Yeah, a very quick response from Bowden there. Just Johnny O'Tracy, normally so consistent in the goal, and they use him as a platform. Just if you're going to try pick out them short ones, the odd one will go astray. So hopefully Na Fianna keep sticking to their tactic.
Well, substitution there. Looks like Marcin Quilty is off, and that injury that he picked up a short time ago in around midfield has obviously put pay to his appearance here today. So Sean Burke is in his place.
Na Fianna targeting Owen McHugh on the puck out again. That he's starting his run in the middle of the pitch and is pushing that 30-yard run left to right, and John's putting it into space.
And just waiting on the Schlitter here. Sean Curry has one now in his possession, and he'll look to cut this one in and around Finn McGarry's goal. Well, that is a wonderful cut from Curry, but that is going to trail just to the right and wide. But decent effort.
Very decent effort. Looked over from here and then just kind of trailed to the right at the last minute, but very, very good effort.
And I think PJ Murray has called us in for the water break. He has. So that is it for the first 15 minutes or 16 minutes or so here in Parnell Park. 4 points apiece. And similar to the first game, Owen, it's been a lively enough encounter.
Yeah, cagey enough first 15 minutes. I'm surprised to see it was 60 minutes on the clock. Time seemed to go quite quickly there. Both teams kind of trying to fill each other out. Hasn't been anything massively to talk about except Donald Burke's point in the first half.
Here we have it here. You could just turn James Madden and just straight over the bar. Tightest of angles.
Exceptional. Like the skill to have that, and for James Madden to be right beside him is just unbelievable. To have the wrist and the hurling know how to do that. It can't be stated how good of a point that was. Again,
for Na Fianna, Colin Curry has been very accurate from those place balls. 3 in total he got, and they raced into a 3-0 lead after only 3 minutes. But Simon Lambert, that monster effort, and what a leader he is for Bowden, obviously their captain, but such experience, and he really got them into the game with that point. Great take in the air there for Ryan, but in fairness, there's going to be a good battle in there today between himself and Luke Corcoran, and we saw an example of it there. Paul Ryan is dependable as ever from the frees. He got one after 11 minutes or so to get the second score of the day for Bowden. And then that was well, you can argue the toss whether it was a point for David O'Connor or whether it was Jonathan Tracy in the goal for Na Fianna who kind of put it over, but really unfortunate from a Na Fianna point of view that the puck out from there was caught by Paul Doherty and he just drove it straight back over from Bowden. So that leaves us as we exit the water break, 4 points apiece. And again, Coola waiting for the winners of this game in the Dublin Senior Hurling Championship A final. A bit of a loose pass there, but Sean Baxter will tidy it up for Na Fianna. Finds Sean Curry on his shoulder. Curry, that's from midfield almost, and that is a wonderful score from Sean Curry. Baxter did all the hard work, the hand pass to Curry, and driven over the bar.
Great score, and it's that role Sean Curry seems to be given, that he's a license to kind of drift wherever he wants and pick up ball, and there's only a very few players that are suited to it. That a lot of players need direction and need the ball come to them, but he's well able to pick up his own ball.
David O'Connor putting that one across the field. Again, Bowden with that extra player back there, so Finn McGarry is more than happy to take the short puck outs if he needs to. Now looking up towards the post is Mellett, Aidan Mellett. But again, tight angle, might have been better off trying to square that one across, but took his chance and ignored the pleas of Conor Dooley and Paul Ryan, who were in there looking for the pass across. Sean Curry does so well there. Still has it. Now he plows on, gives the hand pass away. Here comes Baxter. Baxter, was he fouled? He was. Pulled back. I think it was Luke Corcoran with the pull in the end. But Sean Baxter, the left corner back, was instrumental in the score earlier for Sean Curry, and there he is, bearing down on Finn McGarry's goal.
That's not the first time we've seen him do that as well. Twice against Coola he popped up. I think he got a goal and then he might have set the other one up, but he's forever making them runs up and down the pitch. And as a forward, the last thing you want to see is your man running up the pitch and getting the ball himself. So very well played by Sean Baxter. He really has had a good campaign so far from the Fianna.
Well, this will be the easiest of the afternoon for Colin Curry so far. He's got 3 to his name. Finn McGarry has 4 other Bowden players beside him on that line. Colin Curry lifts, strikes, and that's the gap out to 2 points again. 4 points in total for Curry from the frees this afternoon. Finn McGarry and the Fianna forwards working a lot harder to not give him any easy option that time. So instead he goes over to the right sideline to Mellett. Good work from Mellett to regather possession there. But that's tame enough effort in the end. And Jonathan Tracy's able to drive it and looks to try to find Colin Curry. It just spills out of his hand. He did all the right stuff, was into the space.
Yeah, tame enough effort from Niall McMorrow there. Had a really good quarter-final match. Probably had more time than he realised just to settle himself and take his score. But Aidan Mellett has been doing really well so far. I know he had the wide there a couple of minutes ago, but has got on ball. He looks threatening when he's running after the Fianna goal.
Great cut from Lambert. Put that one up towards Keeney. Where will it break? Again, Mellett is lurking on the outside of that mini scrum, but in the end, real good play from Conor Kelly. Comes away with it, and here comes Baxter again. Baxter, plenty of space in front of him. Baxter still going, that's a lovely run. Then he tries to pick out Curry. Just a little bit ahead of Curry. He wasn't able to control it first time, but in the end they get it to McHugh. Owen McHugh now, it's that high ball again and towards Ryan. Ryan gets it. Ryan is trying to tear away from Corcoran. Now he gives the pass across. He's got the advantage, and that'll be a free in for Fianna. But again, that's 2 or 3 times we've seen that tactic, isolating Ryan in on top of Corcoran, and then they're not shy at all. I think it was McHugh that time that fed the ball into him.
Really clever ball from McHugh there. Just kind of put that 30 yards ball with hardly any pace, and Sean could just use his size and frame to block out Luke Corcoran there. And you know, he's such a big man. Once he runs at you, he nearly has his hand over your head, so you're tackling and dragging him straight away. So an effective tactic the Fianna have so far.
Curry again, makes no mistake. That's 7 points now for Fianna, and that's 5 for Curry.
And Fianna probably getting their score slightly easier at the moment, whereas Bowden kind of having to work hard and relying on a few frees.
McGarry to Lambert. And again, they have options here. Stephen O'Connor, he's now going to drive that one in. But again, the Fianna full back line, so far so good for them. And Sean Burke coming out with it there, and he's fouled. And the Bowden players aren't too happy with PJ Murray, and not for the first time. PJ isn't shy in awarding the extra few yards to Fianna. And I think Sean Curry fancies his chances here.
And Bowden need to keep the discipline there. It probably was a free out, he was pulling and dragging, and then to defend yourself like that, I don't massively understand, and bring the ball up 13 yards into a scoreable range. Going to take a very good free to score, but
Sean Curry, who's got a point from play already, and now he's got a point from a free as well. Well, it really is the Curry show. Colin and Sean doing the action here, and between them they've got 7 points. Donald Burke, obviously the outlier, the full forward for Fianna with that very early point after a minute, an outrageous point, as Owen has already pointed out. But that puts them back in command and 8-4 ahead of Ballyboden. Free for Bowden and free for their goalkeeper Finn McGarry.
Finn McGarry's a really good keeper. He's the confidence he has to be able to pick passes and play the ball short or long. Really, really great asset for Bowden to have there.
Obviously they had Gary Maguire for many a year looking after things back there. But Finn McGarry now stepping into fairly big shoes that he had to fill. And PJ Murray has brought attention back because I think I didn't see exactly what happened there. Maybe when Paul O'D was passing the ball away, he might have been hit late. But in any event, PJ Murray, out of interest for Paul O'D's health and welfare, obviously, if it's a high challenge.
I didn't see what happened myself either, but he looks to be in a good bit of bother. He's holding his neck, I think, is the issue. Paul has been a great player for Fianna this year, a really, really tough character, so he wouldn't be down now if there wasn't need for it.
And again, we will come back and it will be in a Fianna possession. But again, the Fianna, great campaign so far. Beat Satanta first day out, Thomas Davis, and then themselves and Kula may have qualified already. But to put 323 on the reigning champions was some doing. And then obviously really good performance the last day in the quarterfinals against Fogs. So really motoring well, Niall O'Callaghan's team this year. And again, they've got a really nice blend of youth, as Owen has already alluded to earlier. They've won the Under-21 Championship in 2017, 2018 and minors as well a couple of years before that. So again, hoping that underage success can bear fruit now in the next couple of years. Again, a club that's yet to reach a county final, never mind win one, and they'd love nothing more than to take on Kula in that county final. Where's this one going to break? Well, again, the Fianna are getting all those breaks in and around their full back line. What a good tackle there, Conal Keeney, using his strength, using his shoulder. He's got Paul Ryan inside him instead. He goes towards Dooley. Dooley looks up with a great block there from Shane Barrett. Shane Barrett and the Fianna full back. Great experience, and again, advantage being played here for the Fianna. And PJ Murray happy to play that advantage for a couple of seconds. And when there's no advantage coming, back we'll go. And again, just a little bit of off the ball stuff. There's a Bowden player down injured again. I didn't see what happened. I was focused on PJ Murray bringing the play back, but
small bit of retaliation from Donald Burke there. I think he was getting an earful. I don't think there was a massive amount in it, but
indeed PJ Murray is talking to two players here. And it looks like he's given a stern talking to James Madden and indeed to Sean Ryan. And you'd imagine it's a yellow each here, and indeed it is. And it hasn't been a dirty game by any means, but that's 4 yellow cards after only 27 minutes or so.
I think that's completely ridiculous. Two players just getting to know each other a small bit. There was no swinging, there was just a bit of words and a small bit of handbags. And to give 2 yellow cards like that, I just think is absolutely ridiculous. And 4 yellow cards in the first 27 minutes. And like you said, there hasn't been a dirty stroke at all. And for me, that needs to be cut out. It's just a cop-out from the referee to try settle things down when we should be encouraging intensity. And once there's no hurl strikes, then should be let on.
Jonathan Tracy with the free for Fianna. Tracy takes it, and everyone may be expecting one long one in on top of Sean Ryan. Instead, he picks out Colin Curry. Great take in the air from him, but unfortunately he wasn't able to finish it. Lovely pass from McGarry, finds Dooley. Nice little trick play with him from him as well to put put Donald Burke off his stride. Again, the Fianna backs so far doing well. Kelly finding his goalkeeper Tracy. Bit of a loose one there to Paul O'D. He's not going to be thanking Tracy too much for that one, but he does really well. Paul O'D now with the pass, trying to put it into space. Really well done in the corner by David O'Connor, and he'll win his free.
The story of the game so far is that Fianna have been well on top in the backs. The ball hasn't been that good going in. It's kind of been high and aimless, but Fianna sweeping up under the brakes, and they've won the vast majority of the ball that has gone in there.
Simon Lambert stealing an extra yard or two. But looks like we're going to have another name going into the book. 11 Fianna is what the ref PJ Murray is calling for. That's AJ Murphy. And again, not really too sure what AJ did wrong, but again, another name going into the book, and you know, that's another problem for the both managers, Joe Fortune, the manager of Ballyboden, and Neil O'Callaghan, the manager of Fianna, to deal with at half time, dealing with 5 names in the book. And you know, as this game goes on, it's kind of would play on a manager's mind, wouldn't it?
Yeah, especially when the ref seems to be trigger happy with the cards like that. Again, I didn't see anything that warranted a yellow card. If something happened off the ball, fair enough, but around the play of ball, there was nothing.
Oh, I thought that was brilliant play from Paul O'D there. Just kept an eye on Niall McMorrow, didn't let him get away from him, and then came across with the hurl. I thought he did well, but
it looks like another yellow here as well. I don't know. Like there was a slap of you could hear the hurl, but you know, he got the ball, dispossessed him, didn't make any contact with the man. I think it's a risky play, but when it comes off, it's one of the best skills in hurling. When someone's soloing through a full flight and you can get the timing right to flick it. Like,
again, another yellow. Anyway, we'll stay with Bowden, so who have a chance to narrow the margin, and that's well done by Paul Ryan. And again, they haven't scored in 16 minutes, and that's a big gap.
No, but kind of similar to the first game though. For all the possession and the dominance the Fianna have had, to be only 3 points up now at this stage, and for Bowden having, I think you said 16 minutes there, to be only 3 points up is a bit worrying for the Fianna.
Kevin Burke, centre half back from the Fianna, trying to angle that one across to AJ Murphy, but again, Bowden players and Simon Lambert in particular back there, they're just marshalling. They're doing well. Anything loose that's in there, to be fair to the Fianna backs, to the Bowden backs, anything that's in any way loose is being mopped up. And again,
oh, here we go.
And this is the danger, isn't it? I mean, like, you have to play the referee as well, don't you, Owen? I mean, like, if a referee is going to be on you like that, I mean, like, you can't take the chances, and you have to be, just that discipline just has to be that little bit cuter.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, players by now played a half of hurling, and is that 7? You might have the number there.
7, yeah. 4 for Fianna, 3 for Bowden.
Players probably need to have the small bit of cop on and accept that that's the way the game's going to be marshalled, and try adapt to it.
And here we go with Colin Curry again, and that is driven, but that's driven wide, and he was trying to he had the hand up as if to try to influence the umpire, but I think he was the only one trying to influence anyone there.
Bit of a let off for Ballyboden there, kind of keeps them within the one score game. Both for me need to be much more aggressive on the attack, that they're kind of too passive on breaking balls. And
Dooley did well to get that.
Good, now that'll settle Bowden into to win a derby. Keeney is the run through. Probably hasn't touched the ball an awful lot from play, but he's fighting for the ball, and he's got a couple of turnovers there.
And exactly as we head towards half time, if Paul Ryan can get this, again, just kind of keep things tipping over for Ballyboden, maybe not playing as with the fluency that they'd like, but again, if Paul can get this, narrow that margin to 2 points before half time, you'd imagine that Joe Fortune and his management team would be relatively happy with that. And Paul has done the business there. Really nice strike for him. That's his 3rd from frees, and that is the half-time whistle from PJ Murray, the referee, who's been busy. 7 yellow cards, and again, as Owen O'Donnell alluded to earlier, it hasn't been a dirty game. There hasn't been a dirty stroke, but PJ has seen enough to warrant those 7 cards in his own estimation. But the half-time score is Fianna on 8 points, Ballyboden on 6, and we'll have a chance here, Owen, just to chat through some of those highlights from the first half. And I suppose Fianna just blasted out of the blocks. Really, really impressive start from them as we watched those couple of wides at the start. But again, it was all about Fianna and the start that they had.
Yeah, absolutely. Fianna have dominated the game so far. Donald Burke relatively quiet since that first score that we've talked about, which was something else. Bowden probably slow enough to get the ball up front. They're losing a lot of the breaks and the 50-50 balls. But for having said that, Fianna aren't too far ahead considering that they've been on top.
And soft free there. David O'Connor, the left corner back for Bowden, wasn't too happy, and well, as he was given out there to PJ Murray, PJ more than happy to give a few extra yards to Curry, which he took, and took that score. But again, soft freeze and the yellow cards. I mean, like, you can talk about all the great skills of the lads out there, but that's something that they're going to have to watch out for now in the second half. Na Fianna have 4 yellows, Ballyboden have 3 yellows, and it's going to be on their minds now at half time that they're just going to have to hold their discipline as we watch that monster point from Simon Lambert, which again just put Ballyboden back into the game.
Both teams have clinical free takers, and it's gotten to the stage where they're so good that if you give a free anywhere in your own half, you're going to be punished. So we need to be wise to that. But a change in tactic from the Fianna that they haven't tried this year is putting Sean Ryan, or haven't tried from the start, is putting Sean Ryan at the edge of the square, and that is paying dividend. He's such a big man, and he's a way of putting his body between the ball and the full back that you can't get around him, and that even if he doesn't win it, it's breaking in front of him and he's still there. So Luke Corkin is a big physical fella in himself, but it's a tough task he has there.
Because you've been very impressed with Na Fianna. I mean, we were chatting about them earlier, and yeah, you know, you can look at what they've scored and how brilliant they've done, but you've been really impressed with how they've been playing in their 4 games to date.
Really impressed. They've been the team of the championship so far. They play a really nice brand of hurling. They move the ball quickly. They try to get shooters and scorers on the ball. We're watching Sean Curry here, one of the big prospects of Dublin underage hurling coming through, and this year he really has matured into a big team player and someone that's willing to do the selfish work, the selfless work. So occasionally, first half, a point only between them. Probably not the most entertaining game for people watching at home, but they're both kind of feeling each other out, and we have to decide this today. So hopefully the second half will spark to life.
And just in case anyone's supporting the Fianna is starting to get word, 2 points between them own 8-6.
Sorry, 2 points. Yeah. So my math skills need to be a bit of work on.
You're all right. But again, as Owen alluded to there, a tight and a cagey match, but
as we just saw, that's the yellow card there. There's nothing in it, and I don't want to keep harping on about it. PJ, he's there to do a job, but for me, and I'd be one of the more.
This was the next one here, and again, for me, that's you said the perfect execution of the skill is one of the skills that we love to see in hurling.
Yeah.
Yet there was. You could hear the clash of the ash, but I mean, like,
there was
that was perfectly timed.
There was nothing in it. So just really. And for us to be talking about the referee at halftime is not in the nature of the GAA. We should be talking about the skills and the intensity and tackles that we see out on the pitch. So that, for me, the best thing a ref can do is that you don't acknowledge him at all, and after the game you can say what a great game it was. But for me, he's too much control in the game so far.
Well, that's enough about PJ Murray for a few moments anyway, but it's Na Fianna who have control after the first 33-34 minutes or so. They have 8 points. Ballyboden, the 2018 champions, have 6 points. That's a 2-point advantage, and we'll have the second half for you after this short break. And you're very welcome back here to Parnell Park for the second half of the Dublin Senior Hurling Championship A semi-final, the second semi-final of the afternoon. As I mentioned, Coola are already into the county final looking to defend their title. They had a 117 to 13 point win in the first semi-final against Lucan Sarsfields earlier. Well, the players are ready to go here in Parnell Park, but I don't think the officials are. The players just want to crack on and get on with it. But Owen O'Donnell, Dublin Senior Hurler, here beside me. Owen, you gave us your assessment there just before the break, but focus on Ballyboden for the second half. You know, they're the more experienced team. They've got more experience of big days and senior hurling finals. What do they need to do? What do they need to improve on to try to narrow the gap on the Fianna and then kick on? Yeah,
there'll be no panic from the Bowden side, first of all. Unusual throw in there. Sorry, there'll be no panic from the Bowden side. You know, they have a couple of big lads back there. They'll start winning the breaks. They'll play themselves more into the game. So still all to play for going here.
Well, they're coming together in the corner there. And, you can hear there the Bowden subs not too happy with that one. But Paul Ryan adjudged to a foul. I think he came across Kevin Burke there, the Fianna centre half back, who's back there keeping an eye on him. And the referee has given that as a free out to Fianna. Trying to pick out Ryan again. Nobody able to really grab that one. Dunleavy nearly managed to for Bowden there, and in the end Curry managed to put that one out towards Burke, but he managed to lose it. But here comes Curry again, Sean Curry. Sean Curry, too many steps and took a strike there which the referee completely missed because he turned his back on it, but his officials may have seen it.
There was a strike there, alright. Stephen O'Connor.
Finn McGarry is trying to take that quickly to move attention away from the players in there, but PJ Murray, the referee, is going in to talk to his umpires to see what happened, and
I could see the strike
here on. Burke puts it. Here comes Sean.
It's just after the ball as the ref blows the whistle, and it's here. It's just in the wrong place, and it wasn't the heaviest strike, but you don't want any kind of strike there at all.
Bowden through Niall McMorrow with that strike, but it's a strike that they've put to the left and wide. That's 4 wides for Bowden in the game, 5 for Fianna.
Luke probably just didn't have the confidence in himself to put it over. Doesn't find himself in that position too often, but he was definitely the shooter in the right position there.
It's a great take back there. And it's been a good performance, to be fair to him, from David O'Connor in the corner for Ballyboden. A bit of space there, and that's a substitute in for Bowden and Pierce Christie. Advantage being played, even though Christie drives that to the left and wide. We will come back for a free for Ballyboden.
Yeah, Pierce Christie, one of the younger players for Bowden, one of the talents coming through. Came on the last day in the quarterfinals and had a good game, so good to see him on again and bringing a spark of energy to things. And Keeney just showing his experience to draw the foul there, and Paul Ryan will put this over.
Paul Ryan dead in front of the goals there. He had 3 in the first half. Got them all. Chance for the first score of the second half. Ryan lifts and strikes and does the job. And that gap is down to just the 1 point. 3 in a row from place balls now for Paul Ryan. Nice control from AJ Murphy. Looks up. Where's the run? Finds the run of Donald Burke, the captain for Fianna. Twist, turns. Madden sticks with him though. That's really good from Madden. AJ turns one way, turns another. Went for a score there, but in the end it nearly worked out as a pass for Sean Ryan, but it'll go down as a wide.
Yeah, Madden there, unbelievable defending. To be one-on-one with Donald Burke like that and to stand him up 3 or 4 times. That's been a great battle. Bar the first point that Donald's got, it's been a really close close contest there.
Pierce Christie doing really well, but look at that from Conor Kelly. Stuck to his task. And again, Conor Kelly under pressure in the second half. Picked up a yellow card early in the game. Was stuck to his task really well there. Again, another really good play from Sean Burke that time. Now loads of space here for Paul Doherty. But he has driven that one to the left and wide.
Yeah, that's killer. Like, you have time, you have space. He's already got one to his name. You really need to be putting them over. And semi-finals come down to the wire, and they're the scores that make the difference.
Baxter drives that one in towards Sean Ryan. He's out there in front of Luke Corcoran. And Luke sticking to the job. But in the end, they managed to get Curry into the ball. Here comes AJ Murphy. AJ Murphy drives it, and AJ Murphy drives that between the posts. But again, you can see that manoeuvre. They're trying to isolate Sean Ryan, which they did, and then it's the support play from Curry, and then to find Murphy.
Yeah, AJ's been lively since the second half started. He's gotten a couple of balls, and that's a good score from him.
And then Conall Keaney adjudged to a foul there. And Jonathan Tracy, the Fianna goalkeeper, wants to get on with that one quick. Tracy strikes that one, trying to find Donald Burke. Madden does well though. McMorrow trying to place that one towards Doherty, but instead a little roll towards Keaney. Keaney does really well. Rolled off his marker there. Again, Paul Ryan. They're just not giving them an inch, are they? Pierce Christie puts that one out now here towards Ryan. Niall Ryan this time, but that one's been driven wide. But again, to be fair, Sean Baxter didn't give Niall Ryan an inch there.
No, but they're the points I would usually go over for Bowden, but Pierce Christie's done really well since he's come on. That's 4 or 5 possessions, and every time he gets the ball has a spark and energy to him.
Nice play there from goalkeeper Jonathan Tracy and Fergal Branagh in the corner. And they're kind of toying with the Bowden players there. Piggy in the middle. But in the end, they've managed to work that all the way over here. And again, no pressure at all here on Shane Barrett. Drives that, and has he got a point? He has. But again, the amount of space that the goalkeeper, the Fianna full back line had in the end, the amount of space that he had the full back at.
Well worked score, just passing over the head into the person in the right position, and Shane had all the time in the world to put that over.
Nice puck out there by Finn McGarry. And here's space here now for Dunleavy. He'll settle himself, and Paddy will take a score there. That's a nice answer there from Paddy Dunleavy.
Yeah, it's kind of anything you can do, we can do better kind of thing. Both players were just kind of smart balls passed around, and then the striker with loads of time.
Not sure either manager would be too happy with the space and the time they had though. But anyway, on we get. Nicely done in there. Nice play back there from Sean Burke. In the end, manages to find Paul O'D. And again, here comes Barrett again. He'll hardly take it. And a score with Dooley tearing after him. And really good work from Dooley, but Barrett gets that one back. Barrett is still tearing away. Barrett takes for a score. What a save that was from Finn McGarry. Well, he had the advantage, but just out of nowhere, just the space opened up for Barrett, and he said, sure, I'll have a crack.
Just put the head down and kept going. He's a great hurler. He's such a natural ability about him, and then the ability to recover from the hook there.
We see it again here, Owen. Recovered from the hook, as you said, and then said, I'll go for it. Decent save from McGarry all the same.
Very decent save. I don't think many players would go for it there, but Barrett plays with kind of a carefree attitude that's really a breath of fresh air. He doesn't get bogged down in the specifics of things, just goes out and hurls, which is always great to see.
And probably had the dander up after that point from play a couple of moments ago. So again, that's another score for Fianna, another score for Colin Curry. 38 minutes gone in this game, 8 minutes gone in the second half. Fianna 11 points, and Ballyboden 8 points. 3-point advantage for Na Fianna. The team from the Movie Road, established in 1955, but have yet to reach a county final. And again, just things getting a little bit looser in the last while, Owen, and just getting a bit niggly. In fairness, we were talking about PJ Murray and his performance in the first half, the referee, but things have been a bit niggly in the second half.
You'd worry about Paul O'D there, kind of jarred his leg into the ground and straight away made no effort to play on. He seems to be in a lot of pain, and a player that's had a lot of injuries on the age of Na Fianna and has done well to be back, so hopefully that's nothing to keep, but he looks to be in a very bad way.
Yeah, Niall Ryan was standing over him and kind of
nudging
him to try to get him up, but
he's in a...
Conor McCormack is after coming on for Ballyboden just as we're watching, and we can see it maybe here, Owen, see what exactly happened. Yeah, you can see he just gave way, and Niall Ryan was in on top of him, but again, no fault of Niall's at all. And I think it actually is Niall Ryan who is leaving the pitch, and as I said, Conor McCormack has come in for Ballyboden.
Good player for the dirty ball, Conor. Again, another player that's done well to get back from injury, but loves the fight of things and the 50-50, so be a good man to have there at the edge of the square.
Paul Ryan driving that one. Tight enough from Paul, but it went over, and that's all that matters. Oh, great take there from Paul O'D. Earl was high around him, and here we go towards Ryan. And again, advantage being played, and we'll come back here for the free, which you can be sure Colin Curry will fancy his chances.
Yeah, and like Paul Ryan did everything right there. Made a 50-yard run to track O'D back there, and then just couldn't get the technique of his tackle right and put the arm in. And you know, it's bad, but he may as well not have bothered to make the 50-yard run if he's not going to get the technique of the tackle right.
Colin Curry, 6 frees so far, and that one is going to end between the post, but it actually started on the left, and that is definitely a wide. That's a great take from Conall Keeney. Does well to pick out Paul, who does even better to lose Paul O'D. And that is a wonderful score from Paul Ryan. All about Keeney's take, but then the skill from Paul Ryan to evade Paul O'D.
Yeah, how many times have we seen that duo there? Keeney wins the ball and lays it off to Paul Ryan, and the dummy inside and puts it over. Just a very good partnership they've developed over the years.
That's a lovely play on the far touchline, and here comes Sean McDonald. Does well to find McCormack. McCormack now bearing in on goal. McCormack, but again under huge pressure there, and I think in the end it was Fergal Branagh who managed to get in the pressure.
Yeah, good first start from McCormack. Just maybe should have taken his point, but threatening the goal, and good to get him involved into the play early.
Jonathan Tracy, and Fianna goalkeeper. Drives that one towards AJ Murphy, who gets it off the break from Curry. Here comes AJ again. AJ under huge pressure there from O'Connor, but he still has it. Lovely little pop with the hand across to Curry. That's a great block there, I think, in the end from Luke Corcoran. And did they manage to clear it? Well, they haven't, because this one should come out to Donald Burke. And that's in front of Madden, and he manages to drive that, but again to the left and wide.
No, Madden was like a hound after him there. Was really, really good play by James to put him under pressure. This is probably the quietest Donald Burke's been all year, and there's no disrespect to Donald, just it's a good matchup between the two of them.
And Na Fianna captain 210 he got the last day against Fogs, as this one breaks, and that should be driven between the posts, and that's a lovely score from Paul Doherty, his second score of the afternoon, excuse me.
The game there, then the last kind of 5-10 minutes has sparked to life. All of a sudden it's a draw, and you know, Na Fianna, like we said at half time, for the dominant team, haven't converted the chances, and Bowden are still hanging in there.
Well, they're more than hanging in there now, because they've brought the game level, and they managed to do that in very similar fashion in the first half, after 14 minutes. point from Paul Doherty brought them to 4 points apiece. Na Fianna then pulled away with 4 unanswered points. But again, Doherty with that one to draw them level again after 43 minutes.
Yeah, some smarts there from Noel McMurrow just to draw the tackle. Not a lot Kevin Burke could have done about that, kind of held his ground, but no, kind of turned his chest into him and won the free.
Well, Paul Ryan from his own half of the pitch.
It just shows the strength of Kevin Burke, though. He's of the age where they've grown up with the strength and conditioning program. They've been working with top class minor coaches, and just the size of him out there. And we know from our own testing with Dublin, he performs really, really well in all the strength things. So a great talent to have coming up through the ranks.
That one is driven by Paul Ryan, and that is a great score. And Boden, with 45 minutes on the clock, have gone into the lead for the first time this afternoon. And PJ Murray, I think, has blown his whistle for the second and final water break here this afternoon in Parnell Park. But interesting, similar to the first game when Coola just managed to get their noses in front coming into the last quarter. Boden again, the experienced team, have just managed to pip in front as we head into the last quarter.
Yeah, and it's really shown today. The experience is a vital factor, and that probably is without Keeney is playing out. We talk about him a lot because he's such an influential character. Probably hasn't been as active from scoring from play, but has done some really good dirty work. And Pierce Christie here on the ball has been very well.
Yeah, again, and Paul Ryan, his impact over the last few minutes. Like, Boden have gone 4 points without reply in the last 4 minutes. There's one from Paul Doherty, one from play from Paul Ryan, then 2 from frees from Paul Ryan. But again, Na Fianna without any score there in the last kind of 7-8 minutes, and just all the momentum has swung with Ballyboden as a result.
No, and they've probably gone away from their tactic a small bit. That as far as I remember, I don't think there was any ball put on Sean Ryan at the edge of square. There was a couple out near the sideline, but that's not Sean Ryan's game. You know, he needs the ball into the square where he can kind of work an angle, draw a free. So Na Fianna need to kind of go back to what was doing them justice at the start of the game.
And in fairness, they were doing it very effectively at the start of the game. We saw there, and here was that effort from the full back. Excellent run from Shane Barrett, and then he took aim, and Finn McGarry took flight.
Really good save from Finn McGarry, because Shane Barrett is one of the most natural hurlers as well. He's one of them that his back garden backs onto Na Fianna and spends a lot of time there at the wall in Na Fianna. So great strike from him, and a better save from Finn McGarry.
Again, we'll have to say as well what a performance we've had from the free taking. Paul Ryan has been superb. He's superb. He's had 7 points in total here this afternoon for Ballyboden. And Colin Curry for Na Fianna, he's got 6 points from frees as well. So it's been a real lively encounter from the two free takers. AJ Murphy now got a score at the start of the second half, and foul maybe on Ryan there, but on we go. Here's Colin Curry back to AJ Murphy. AJ from way out drives that, but he's driven it to the right and wide.
I see Micheál Murphy has come in at number 8 for Na Fianna as well. Another talented prospect coming up through the ranks for Na Fianna, Dublin under 20 player, and a really exciting talent.
That's 9 wides in total now for Na Fianna. 6 wides for Boden. Pierce Christie, he's been lively since he's come in. He was a little bit too lively there. He's lost control of it to Conor Kelly. Foul on Keeney, and that'll be a free for Paul Ryan. And at a time really at the start of this second quarter after the water break, Na Fianna needed to get a break, and instead this will be a chance now for Boden just to stretch that lead even more.
And the smarts from Keeney is something that you can't touch there. The way he shortens his grip, and his centre of gravity, he gets so low to the ball, little shimmy out on the ground, and then second he feels the contact goes down. So that I don't know how clearly you can see that on camera there, but the touch that he could just get himself that extra yard and to buy the free.
Well, Paul Ryan has done the job there again, and as I said, that's been just a remarkable turn of events. We've had 5 points in a row from Ballyboden, all in the space of the last 6-7 minutes, and it's just a relentless drive from them, and Na Fianna really need to get one of these breaks in around midfield just to stop that momentum. Sean Burke, advantage being played. That's an effort there for a score, but it's gone to the left and wide. Another one from Shane Barrett, the full back.
Yeah, wide effort, but Shane is playing very well. I know he's struggling with a bad knee injury at the moment, but you know he's playing very well out there, and he's best when he's aggressive and attacking the ball and moving forward, and it's great to see him in such good form.
Finn McGarry with the puck out there to Paddy Dunleavy. He's boxed in, but he still manages to get that one away towards Stephen O'Connor, who has help from his goalie again. Back to O'Connor, and O'Connor now, that's a lovely pass. Lambert looks up, finds or tries to find McCormick, but just a little bit too strong in the end.
Yeah, unfortunate. Right thing to do. Sub coming, I think, but right thing to do. Very nice play from the back from Bowden, and just unfortunately the ball trickled out over the end line, but really positive play.
And the referee waiting for that substitute to happen now. And Ballyboden substitute, it appears. And I think that's Luke McDwyer coming in.
Yeah, another. I think he's still under 20 for Dublin. He definitely has played underage for Dublin. A very good player. So you know he's a bit of a live wire. A nippy corner forward is what I usually would have him. So he'll add a lot of life to that Bowden attack.
Conor Dooley leaving the pitch right away, as we're waiting here now for Jonathan Tracy just to control the Schlitter there for the Fianna. And again a high one there coming across Kevin Burke. And again the ref just wanted to wait and see what would develop, but nothing too hectic happening. So
interesting, no yellow card there. You would have thought that a high tackle like that would have been,
and in particular given some of the ones that were given in the first half. But anyway, good to see. On we get, and on we go. Stephen O'Connor now, space in front of him. AJ Murphy coming across just to close that space, and Murphy nearly got there. That's a massive one in on top of Tracy in the goals, and he does well, gets that pass away. And just a foul coming across there as he tried to give that one away to Branagh. Tracy again. 8.5 minutes left here in Parnell Park. Coola awaiting the winners of this game in the county final. Foul on Owen McHugh.
Well won by Owen McHugh there. Uses athleticism again to get out in front. Nice take, and then just players these days are so smart. Once they feel that contact come in, they'll throw the hands up, and the ref is right to give a free there.
And Sean Ryan leaving the pitch there for the Fianna, as we're waiting now on Colin Curry to take this. Curry strikes that one, and you can hear from the subs behind him, they're happy.
Yeah, I think interestingly enough, Donald Burke has switched to the freeze. He took that one there. So
sorry, thanks Owen.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that's a position on the pitch or whether he switched over in general, but makes no mistake anyway.
First one from free for Donald Burke. Got one from play after only a minute. Barrett uses the Kittogue to get that one towards Murphy. Murphy picks it. He's out in front of David O'Connor. Foul on him. Advantage being played. Let's see how that develops. Curry. That's beautiful control from Colin Curry. Curry takes an effort, drives it to the left and wide, and will come back for the advantage. That didn't accrue, so it will be a free in Fianna.
A long advantage there. I think 5 seconds is maybe someone might be able to go back and check if that was 5 seconds. It seemed long to me up there, but
again, important score from Donald Burke. 14 minutes since the Fianna last got a score.
Yeah, so I was mistaken. He's just calling back the player here. I think it's a wide ball, but calling back the player to give. And
I think it'll be Conal Keeney going into the book this time. That's 4 yellows for Ballyboden, 4 for the Fianna. And there's the yellow shown to the Bowden man.
I didn't see it, but Keeney's no innocent player. I'd say he did something alright.
Awful slight in his character. Stephen O'Connor for Bowden. Again, Keeney hasn't been that visible in play, but he's been in the thick of it. And what a play there from Keeney. Did so well. In the end, no, they've driven that to the left and wide, but again, Keeney has been in the thick of it, mixing things up, making his physical presence felt.
Yeah, I think Conor McHugh has done well in him in terms of Keeney hasn't scored from play, but he has been certainly involved in a lot of the dirty winning balls of.
And we're looking up there, and
Yeah,
that
lovely,
is a
lovely
score.
score.
That is another lovely one from Simon Lambert.
Playing really well back there.
Second one for the centre half back and the captain. Again, just increases that lead to 2 as we enter the last 5 minutes or so of normal time here in Parnell Park. Oh, brilliant play from Keeney. He's won that one back for his team. He's won that one back for Luke McDwyer. He's making his way in towards Tracy's goal. Gives the pass. Here comes Christie. Oh, what a save! And I think, was there a pull on a jersey there? That's certainly the indication from the referee, PJ
penalty.
Murray. And he's given a penalty.
Really good run
If
from
we'll
Luke
be able
McGuire
to see
there.
that again, but that was super play from Bowden. McDwyer, and I think he gave the pass off to Pierce Christie. Did well.
Yeah, harsh penalty. Maybe there was a slight bit of a drag back, but that's the youth of Bowden there too. I'm not sure if they're the same age. Maybe there might be a year between them, but 2 young, underage players that have represented Dublin in the past, and you know, these are the lads that Bowden will be looking to in the next couple of years to lead them on.
Well, Stephen Heine has definitely come on for Ballyboden now. Recognise the beard on him.
Yeah. Great to see him back as well. He was in Scotland for a couple of years, but a massive servant to Dublin hurling. He's given us as much as anyone that's ever worn the blue jersey, so really good to see him back.
So number 29 on Stephen's back as we watch this penalty. Paul Ryan against Jonathan Tracy. Ryan lifts, he strikes, oh! And despite the best efforts of Jonathan Tracy, Paul Ryan has done the business for Ballyboden as he's done for many years.
Yeah, interestingly enough, I think he's asking to be taken off now. I know he was carrying a groin injury coming into the game, but he's looking for attention of the physio here. Yeah, he's gone. Groin, I think. Smashing penalty though. John O'Tracy guessed correctly, but just the power of it pushed it in.
5 points now between the teams. 4 minutes or so left here in Parnell Park. Again, just those breaks in midfield starting to go Bowden's way, but just as I say that, here comes Sean Curry. Gives that pass off to AJ Murphy. Wasn't able to control it first time. Gives a lovely blind pass out to his right, but again, easily read there by Stephen O'Connor. And here comes David O'Connor with the pass. Lovely interplay to find Niall McMorrow. McMorrow has all of Parnell Park to aim for. And he drives that to the right and wide.
Yeah, he'd be disappointed with that. Luke McDwyer was off his shoulder. Maybe should have passed it and instead of taking the shot off the hurl. But everything seemed to go Bowden's way here. They've certainly upped to the gear, and probably this is the criticism was in this Fianna hurling team, that when they've gotten to critical stages of games in past few years, they haven't been able to get it over the line, and you know, they'll need a special effort to get this back now. There's 5 points in it.
And Kevin Desmond is on for Ballyboden St Endas. Kieran Murphy is on for Fianna. See how that plays out in the next couple of minutes. Great work from Barrett there. Wins it. Now he puts that one in high and in on top of his captain Donald Burke. But again, anywhere that Burke has gone, James Madden has gone
He's
with
had a
him.
super game. James
Brilliant.
Madden really has had a super game. Donald Burke in the quarter-finals looked unstoppable.
He
He shot
tore
the
them.
lights out of the place. And just James Madden, he's such a committed player and a committed hurler. He really trains hard, and you know, he's put a massive effort in this year, so it was great to see him playing so well.
And again, all the attention would have been on Donald Burke coming into this game. 210 that he got in the last game. Captain of this team. He's been inspirational for them this year. So no mean effort from James Madden to keep him as quiet as he had. He's got 2 points, one from a free, one from play. But by and large, Madden has managed to keep him relatively quiet. Another yellow card there. And presented by, shown by PJ Murray. And I think that one for Luke Corcoran, the Ballyboden fullback. Massive effort there with the breeze in the back. And Jonathan Tracy did well in goals for Na Fianna. Does even better to find Conor McHugh. McHugh tearing away. Nice little pass from him. Sean Baxter has it now. McHugh has followed on his run, but he's not going to get it back because Madden again doing the job back there.
He's having one of them days where everything he touches is just going right from. Really good play by James Madden there again. It's good to see Conor McHugh hurling as well. Obviously very well known for his football, but his athleticism there and his hurling, moving up the pitch there as always.
Yeah, got 1-2 for the footballers against Ballymun in their quarter-final loss. But a super talent in either code. And just a break in play at the moment because I think there's the Na Fianna goalkeeper Jonathan Tracy is just down with an injury. And the physio's on there keeping an eye on him. So that's why we've a break in play here. Simon Lambert has the Schlitter. Stephen Heine behind him.
Yeah, a poor enough second half from Na Fianna, really. Dominant in the first half, but you might know the score at half time there, Marcus, but it really was, 4 points, and I think majority of them came from frees, maybe one from AJ from play, but really haven't been up to the races here in the second half.
Nicely cut out there by Kevin Burke. And again, we've seen far too little of this from Na Fianna in this game. Michael Murphy and similar to Conor McHugh earlier, just driving at the heart of the Ballyboden defence. Sean Curry trying to lift this one, but Luke Corcoran, who's had a really good game there at full back for Ballyboden. And that has gone wide again.
Yeah, things swinging Bowden's way, alright. Just Na Fianna struggled since the tempo's been lifted slightly, and a couple of the key players for Bowden have come good. Simon Lambert had a great game. Luke McDwyer, since he's come on, has played real. Conor McCormick is a presence in there. So, as I said already, the criticism of Na Fianna has been their ability to finish out games come the business end of championship, and today again they just don't seem to be able to get it across the line.
Again, it's going to be a busy couple of weeks for Bowden if they manage to hold on here. Their footballers are also in their semi-final. They'll be taking on St. Jude's. They had a really good extra time victory over Raheny. We'll stick with this. There's still time left. Sean Murphy putting that one in towards the edge of the square. Lambert did well initially. Curry trying to break through. Curry is brought to ground, and here comes Colin Curry. Oh! He's flashed that one wide. Advantage was being played. You definitely feel they need a goal, whether it's from play or from this free that will be taken. But that was an effort.
Really should have scored from there. Very little pressure on him. Wasn't a Bowden man able to get a hook or a block or near him, and they're
Jonathan Tracy there coming up to take this one, you'd imagine, Owen.
You'd imagine he'd be obviously going for goal. Great striker of a ball, but like we saw in the last game, these are more often saved than go in. You imagine that was Na Fianna's big chance there to try.
Finn McGarry in goals for Bowden. Jonathan Tracy in goals for Na Fianna, but he'll take this one. He lifts it. Not much of a run up to it, and in the end, between McGarry and indeed Luke Corcoran on the line, they managed to stop it. Where will this one break? That's really good work on the floor there from Desmond. Manages to get it. They've got no goalie, but Desmond takes the easier option than trying to lob a goalie, but that was no easy score to take. Lovely impact from the substitute Kevin Desmond.
No, 2-on-1 situation there. Desmond had no business winning the ball, but won it, fought the 50-50 battle, won it and put it over. Really good score, and completely settles Bowden now. And Na Fianna be very disappointed with this now and how they've come out in the second half, because it's not how they've played all year. They've played some fabulous hurling, and they have been the team of the tournament so far, but just you have to perform on the day.
Like if you look at their scores, 532, 416, 323, 420, and to only come out with 12 points today. I mean, like, you know, Neil O'Callaghan and the players won't need us to tell them that, but, you know, 12 points isn't going to win you many championship games.
No, and maybe the story is that they were too reliant on Donald Burke, and you know, like James Madden's a quality player. Yeah, that's it.
Indeed, that is the full-time whistle blown by PJ Murray, and the end score reads 115 to Ballyboden, 12 points to Na Fianna, and it will be a Ballyboden and Coola final to see which name goes on the New Ireland Assurance Cup. 7 titles for Ballyboden, 7 titles for Coola, who can join UCD on 8. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But again, in terms of the match overall, Owen, we'll have a look at some of the highlights here, and in particular some of the chances that they had, but Na Fianna just didn't fire at all, in particular in this second half.
No, and that's the story of Na Fianna. Had a lot of potential coming into it, performed really well in the championship throughout, but just you have to perform in the day, and maybe it was a case that Bowden got their matchup right. We spoke about James Madden and Donald Burke. You know, just the two O'Connors in the corner backs, both of them played very well and limited their use. Just experience probably shown through in the second half. The lads at Keeney winning dirty ball, Paul Ryan with a lot of place balls, and Simon Lambert, again, a massive performance from him back there. He really is the core of that back team there.
Neil O'Callaghan, the Na Fianna manager, when he looks back on this season, I mean, there'll be huge positives to take from it. I mean, like, it's kind of unbelievable that they haven't reached the semi-final since 1988. That's going to be a huge positive for this young group of players. But what do they need to kick on to that next level, to reach a first ever county final, to win a first ever county title?
It's very hard to know, Marcus, to be honest. They have unbelievable potential there, like we spoke about before the game. I'd say 14 of their 15 starters there, maybe 13 of them, all have played for Dublin at some stage. So they have the players there. I know they have a massive background team with Owen Roach there, who has a wealth of knowledge. Sometimes teams have like that monkey on their back where they just can't get over the big stage, and when big games come, they can fold under the pressure. And not to be antagonising to Na Fianna, but it just seems that case, because on paper today, Na Fianna certainly had the better team and the youth on their side.
Well, Ballyboden, as against that, I mean, they used their experience so well. I mean, like, you look at their scores in that second half. I mean, Paul Ryan, I mean, like, he showed so well throughout the game. I think he had 9 points, 1-8 in total. I think he got all told today. He got the goal from the penalty, obviously. But to be able to rely on the likes of your Paul Ryans, your Connell Keeneys, even the likes of Desmond coming off the bench, and the impact that he had, or McCormick when he had a couple of touches. I mean, like, Bowden just really had big performers and big players when they needed them most.
Yeah, and that's probably the experience shining through. Bowden have been in bigger games than this. They've gone on to Ireland series, they've played Leinster finals, and they just kept the head down. And Joe Fortune is a great manager. You know, he's a great man manager, and you know, he backs his team, and that belief shines through. That Bowden kept sticking to the process. And these two young lads came on. Both of them played unbelievable. Pierce Christie was a great spark there in that Bowden forward line, and from the very start of the second half was a live wire. One of the big talking points that we spoke about has been this battle between James and Donald Burke. They've often marked each other in training, and it's a toss up to see who gets the better of it. And just today it was James Madden's day. Na Fianna will be disappointed with that. I think you spoke about progress, and from an outside point of view you can see that progress, but from an internal point of view they won't be happy with how they performed today, and they've bigger aspirations than that.
That was that late effort there from Curry, and we saw that penalty from Tracy, and between I don't know whether it was Finn McGarry or Luke Corcoran in the end, but between them they managed to keep it out. But it's all set up now for that county final. Owen, we've seen both semi-finals here today. We've seen Coola go toe to toe with Luke, and we've seen Ballyboden go toe to toe with Na Fianna, and arguably the two marginal favourites have come out on top. But seeing both performances here today, what's your read on the county final? Coola, Bowden, how do you see it?
Yeah, and although Bowden did get over this hurdle, they didn't play particularly well in themselves, reliant on Paul Ryan from frees. I think it was maybe 1-6 from dead balls or something similar in that in that ballpark. They'll need a lot bigger of a performance to get over Coola. Coola were very impressive today in the second half. That Lucan brought massive energy, and they deserve massive credit, but Coola stuck with them, stuck to their game plan, and then ran clear favourites in the end. So if Boden are going to put it up to Coola the next day, they're going to need a much bigger performance than that.
Okay, well, Ballyboden have 7 county titles in total. So do Coola. UCD stand on 8. So which name is going to go on to the new Ireland Assurance Cup? We'll have to wait and see. But so it's Ballyboden though that go through. They won 115 to 12 points than the Fianna had, and Coola they won 117 to 13 points. Well, from myself, Mark Sobuchla, and Owen O'Donnell here on Dubs TV. Thanks a million for being with us this afternoon. Apologies again for some of the issues we had in the first semi-final, but hopefully the second semi-final ran a little bit smoother for you at home, and hopefully we'll see you again here soon before too long. Slán Tamil.